In this video we're going to have a crack at making something called a CS socket using Autodesk Inventor. I'll just go for a quick fly around so you get an idea of how this shape actually looks. Okay, so it's a little bit more complex than what we have been doing in the past. So we'll test this out, but it's all skills we've done in previous videos, so hopefully it's not too hard for you. Okay, so that's a CS socket. Just to have a quick look at the dimensions, we'll pop over to our orthographic and isometric view. So you can see the isometric view here, which is our 3D view. Don't need to worry about that too much because we just saw that, but we will need to have a closer look at the dimensions here. So our side view, probably just zoom a bit better using the window here. Our side view has probably got the most dimensions that you'll need to worry about, so take note of those if I haven't supplied you with a printout. Okay, if we come across, we've got the front view, so looking front on at the CS socket. And if we go up here, we've got this top view as well. So it's looking straight down on top of our CS socket. Alrighty, so I'll just zoom back out there. That's what our different views look like. So let's get started now by simply going up to the File menu, or if you're in a previous version of Inventor, just use the little eye symbol at the top. Click on New and choose the Metric Templates folder. From here we're going to start a standard millimeter Inventor part and we're going to click Create. When the empty blue screen appears, we want to go over to our 3D Model tab at the top of the page and choose Start 2D Sketch. We will be sketching today on the XY plane. So click on the XY plane and holding your mouse button down, just drag that intersection or the origin there where the X and Y axis meet down to the bottom left. So you've got a bit of room to draw into. Feel free to zoom out a little bit as well. Okay, now we're going to draw our shape today using the line tool again to start with, and then we'll just do a few extrusions to make things 3D and cut a few holes in this shape. So let's grab our line tool like I just said, and we'll start right on the origin where the two axes meet, and click your mouse once and move up. See that the line is following your mouse cursor looking for where it should end. Okay, so what I want you to do is go directly up at 90 degrees, type in 18 mils for the distance, click enter. Now we're going to come across a total of just 4 millimeters this time to the right and press enter. And still heading in the same direction to the right, we're going to go another further 52 millimeters and press enter. You'll see why I didn't do that in one go in just a moment. And once we've drawn that line, we're going to head straight up. Again, 90-degree angle here. And we're going to go head up 54 millimeters and press enter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head diagonally down and connect up to that second line there. Okay, so hopefully you can see my little mouse cursor will change from that yellow dot to a green dot, showing me that those lines are now connected. So I'll just click on that and we should have this enclosed triangle shape. And that will just finish my sketch for the time being, but we're not finished yet. Okay, going back to my origin, I'm going to click when my mouse turns green, just to show that I'm connecting to the original line that was already there. And I'm going to head across the bottom here, this x-axis to the right, 120 mil. So type in 120 and press enter. I then want you to head straight up 90 degrees. And I want you to go up 72 millimeters. Okay, and then I just want you to go and connect up with the other triangle straight across. When the mouse cursor turns green, click your mouse. And you've got your shape all fully enclosed. Now before we finish the sketch, I do want to draw a circle just over here. That's going to be a hole that we cut through our shape. Okay, so first of all, what I want you to do is I want you to find the center of this line. Okay, and you see you get a little guide here showing you where that center is. So that's handy. Just remember that. Using your circle tool now, okay, just click on that in your ribbon, go back and find that center line. There it is, and just follow it down. Okay, it doesn't matter how far down you go just yet, but make sure you've got that dashed line running vertically. Click anywhere and just drag out a circle that is 25 mil in diameter. So type 25 and press enter. Now we need to get this circle 36 millimeters from the top to the center point of the circle. So let's use the dimension tool here like we did in the previous tutorial. Okay, so with the dimension tool selected, I want you to click on the top of the shape and then go down and click on the center of your circle. Move your mouse out to the right, click somewhere, and I want you to type in 36. And that will just move your circle straight down 36 mils from the top of the page. So it'll be looking something like so. Okay, so that's how we want our first 2D drawing to look. So we can finish the sketch now. Zoom out a bit and just move it across into the middle of our page. Now we can start extruding this to make it 3D. Okay, so let's grab the extrude button from our 3D model tab at the top. And we're going to click on the main part of the shape over here, so this rectangle part. And we're going to extrude it a total distance of 76 millimeters. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different here. Instead of just extruding out to the left, we're going to choose this here, a symmetric extrusion, which basically extrudes evenly on both sides of our 2D drawing. Okay, so we've got half of it here and half of it going out there. Once you've done that, we'll swing around here. We're going to click OK, and you'll see this triangle here that we're meant to have won't be extruded, but don't worry, we will come back and do that in a moment. So click OK, and you've got the basic shape all done. Now to get this triangle section here extruded, what we have to do is go over to what we call our browser here on the left. In our browser you'll see Extrusion 1. Next to that a little pointy grey arrow I want you to click on. When you click on that pointy grey arrow, it expands the extrusion folder and you can see Sketch 1. If you click on Sketch 1 just once, you can see that that triangle is still sitting there on our original sketch that we drew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click my mouse here on Sketch 1 and I'm going to go down and click Share Sketch. Okay, and that brings my sketch back up. So what I can do now is extrude the triangle. So I'm going to go back to my extrude option up the top in the ribbon. I'm going to click in this triangle section here. And I do want to extrude at 76 mil like before, but we also need to choose the symmetric extrusion option here again as well. Okay, actually I don't want to make it 76 mil. I was just thinking, looking at that, that's way too big. We actually want to make that 22 as the distance. So type 22 into that distance box. That looks better. So you can click OK, and you've now got your triangle extruded. You've also got a lot of dimensions there from our original sketch that we need to get rid of. So just pop back over here to Sketch 1 in your browser, right click on it, and click on the word visibility, and that will make it invisible. Okay, it just hides all those dimensions. Alright, so that's looking pretty sweet. Next thing you might do is just round off the corners at the front of our shape. Okay, and we do that, if you remember from the last tutorial, by filleting. Okay, so to fillet these shapes, what we need to do is click on Fillet, change the radius size here to 38 millimeters. Once you've set the radius to 38, I want you to go back and click on this blue writing where it says 0 selected. And you can now go down and just select these vertical edges. Once there, and once there. Click OK, you see you've got a nice round front to our CS socket. The last thing we need to do is basically draw a rectangle that goes up here that cuts straight through the top of our shape. Okay, so we need to make another new 2D sketch. So start a 2D sketch and click on the top of your CS socket. That will just flip it around. Okay, I'm just going to flip it around using my cube one more time like this. And instead of drawing a usual rectangle, a 2-point rectangle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the third option down. Okay, what I want to do is choose a 2-point center rectangle, which means I'm going to be able to draw a rectangle out from a center point, like so. Alright, so with that tool selected, we need to find this center point in this rectangle. Okay, if we just hover around the center, we can see it's not going to quite show us where that point is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click Project Geometry. And we're going to click on that square just there. Okay, that's going to We'll just press escape once you've done that, and it's going to bring up some yellow lines. Okay, these lines are just guides that are showing us some lines from a previous sketch. Okay, it's going to help us draw this rectangle in the middle now. So using this 2-point center rectangle again, you should be able to hover around the center of this rectangle and you'll see some guides pop up. There they are there. You can see you've got a vertical line, little dashed line to show you're in the vertical center. Oops. And you'll see a horizontal line as well to show you in the horizontal center. When you see those two lines intersect, click your mouse and drag out. Alrighty, so the vertical line at this stage is going to be 38 and the horizontal is going to be 50. So make sure you got the same dimensions as me there. 50 for the line running horizontally, 38mm for the lines running vertically. Press enter and you should get a rectangle looking like so. Finish the sketch. Extrude that rectangle, so click on that rectangle. You'll see that it wants to build up to start with. Okay, but we're actually going to change it to the cut option, which will turn it back in on itself and start cutting away the shape. And we want to change its distance to all. That way it cuts through the entire shape all the way to the bottom. Click OK, and you've now got a nice extrusion that goes straight through the entire CS socket. And that's your CS socket all made. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now, simply go up to the appearance browser, choose an appearance. I'm going to choose steel again. Seems to be one of the more attractive materials you can put on your designs. Click and drag over your object there and choose one of the steels to put on it. How's galvanized look? A bit ugly. Let's just roll with polished steel. So hover over polished steel, hit the little blue arrow to apply that appearance to your CS socket. Close the browser off and you've now got galvanized steel there. Polished steel on your CS socket. So that's all finished. You will need to save that up. Okay, so just save that up somewhere and call it CS socket. Leave it open though, because what we're going to do now is we're going to do our orthographic and isometric drawing of this shape. Okay, so I'm going to just close the originals that I had there. Okay, and with just the 3D model open that I just drew, I'm going to go back up to File and New, and I'm going to select the metric templates. I'm going to scroll down in my list here until I find the drawing section. In the drawing section, you want to click on the ANSI millimeter Inventor drawing, and we'll click on Create. Alright, now that our our templates come up, what we'll do is go to the Place Views tab at the top in the ribbon and select Base. Change our scale 2:1. Okay, and you can just start to put this into position now. So I'll put this CS socket in the bottom left, bring it up a little bit, coming up above it, move your mouse and just click again, come to the right of the shape, click again, and then go diagonally up to the right, click again. Okay, now we might be able to change the look of this shape in a minute. It's in a bit of a funny angle there at the minute, but I'll just click OK. What I'm going to do is click on the border of this shape, just to select it. So I'll double click it, and you get this little cube up here. Let's give it a bit of a rotate. We'll see if we can get a better angle. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer there. So I'll click OK. And that's how we want our shape to be looking. We can see more of it. Alright, so let's start labeling these. Let's start with this bottom view down here. It's our side view. So let's just double click on the dotted red border. Change the label to capital letters and write side view. Toggle the little light bulb on so we can see this label. Hit the little pencil. Delete the scale text. Highlight the view and change the size to 6.1. Click OK. Click OK. And you get the side view caption in. Okay, the one over here we've got is the front view, as if we're looking front on at the shape. So let's double click on the dotted red line and write in front view. Toggle the light bulb on. Hit the pencil and delete scale, highlight the view and make the size 6.1, click OK, click OK. Sorry if I'm going a bit quick here, but we've done this before, so hopefully you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, the next one that we're going to do, double click up here on the red border. This is called the top view, so toggle your label on and write in top view, hit your pencil, delete the scale, highlight view, and change the size of the text to 6.1, click OK, click OK. Alright, we've got the names of our orthographic drawings in. Quickly do the isometric now, so double click on the border again. The view will be isometric view. Leave the scale as is. Usually we bump it up a little bit more, but we're not going to have the room for it this time, so just leave it at 2:1 scale. Hit the shaded box here, so a little cube in the ball, that will colour it in. Hit the light bulb to toggle the visibility on. Hit the pencil and just make all the writing 6.1 mil. Remember, we will leave the scale there this time. Click OK, click OK. Now we have a coloured shape and a good little label next to it. Now we just need to do some dimensions over here on the orthographic view. Okay, so we'll go to the Annotate tab and select dimension. Let's start with the top view up here. Just zoom in here. We might do this rectangle, so click and drag up. Click OK. Click on this line here, drag out. Click your mouse, click OK. The other thing we can do here is this rounded section at the front. We just want the radius of that, which is 38 mil. Okay, so that's basically a 38mm fillet we've applied there. That's probably all the dimensions we need for the top view. Okay, let's go down and do the front view because it's an easy one. All we're going to do here is from that line to that line. Bring it up and click OK. Alright, I just want to test something here. No, it's not going to work. It's all good. I'll leave that as it is. And now this side view, we'll just dimension this. And this is going to have all the detail. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to be doing is dimensioning this line here. It's going to be 18 mil. We'll dimension this side over here, just 72 mil. Now we need to dimension the top down to the middle of the circle as well. So find that middle point on the circle. You can bring that out and just dump it in between there and there. So that's 36. We need to get this top line here. It's going to be 64. We'll need to get this line here, which is 54. We'll need to get this line here. Actually, that little one there, which is 4mm. So we need to go from this line to this little point. Where is that point? There it is. So you can see 4 mil. Click OK. Might even bring that up the top in a moment. That'll probably look better. Might do that now actually. We'll bring this 4 mil up here. So that way we can now dimension this line here. See, that's not working. We'll have to dimension from that point over to this line. Just 52 mil. There we go, so that's looking like we've pretty much dimensioned the whole thing. Just something that you don't have to do in this one, but I want to show you how to do it. If we want to measure this angle between here, we know it's 90-degree angle. What you can do is grab your dimension tool, click on this line here, then click on this line down here, and drag out. And it shows you the actual angle between those two lines. Let's just put it in for a bit of practice. Okay, if you wanted to, you could put on the dimension that runs all the way along the bottom, which is 120 mil, but because we have all these dimensions at the top, we don't need to do that. Okay, remember we don't duplicate dimensions, just put in the bare minimum so people can recreate this shape if need be. Alright, so that is all our dimensions sorted. Okay, I was just thinking if you wanted to, this front view is quite tricky to read. If you didn't want that 22 there, you could always click on it and delete it. And you could put it in on this one here. Okay, you just need to go to dimension and just dimension this line here. 22. Probably a little bit easier to see there. Alright. So, let's go down, put the title in, and we are finished. So grab your text tool from your Annotate tab at the top, click underneath the title, capital letters, we'll just call it CS Socket. Highlight the text and make it 6.1 mil. Click OK. Press Escape to turn that tool off and just move it under the title. Alright, zooming back out now. We have finished our orthographic and isometric drawings of this shape. So save that up, and that's the end of this tutorial.